GTA 5 Online has a wide variety of aircrafts, cars, boats and much more, with some of these vehicles being incredibly powerful and they can be used to make the game a lot easier. But not all of these vehicles are actually good. So in today's video I will be sharing with you 5 vehicles that may seem good but you actually have to avoid at all costs. So without further ado, let's get straight into this one. So coming in at the number 5 spot is a vehicle which I wish was just so much better. The Chernobog is my favorite looking vehicle in the entire game, but unfortunately it is not a fashion contest. The Chernobog is based off the WS51200, which is a mobile missile launching truck, which sounds absolutely insane. But unfortunately it is not insane, it is far from it. It can be purchased from Warstock Cash and Carry for a price of $3.3317 million, or you can get it for a trade price of $2,490,000, which is very pricey. And to make it worse, this vehicle isn't even good. It is incredibly slow and has a terrible turning radius, and even with its large size and bulky look, it takes only 1 RPG to blow it up, which is just completely embarrassing. And to add insult to injury, you can only operate the missile launcher and stuff when the vehicle is stationary, and you must have a second player to control the missiles. So this vehicle is just not worth it, as it doesn't really have many uses and it's far too expensive for what you actually get. But coming in at the number 4 spot, we have the Laserjet. Now I know what you guys are probably saying right now. How can you put this super fast and nimble fighter jet on a top 5 vehicles you should never buy list? Well, it's all down to its incredibly expensive price tag. The jet will set you back an eye-watering $6.5 million with no trade price available. The price tag is especially terrible when you take into account that you can just steal the jet from the military base at Fort Zancudo for free. If you have tons of money and have nothing else to buy, then I guess buying this jet isn't a complete waste of time or money. But if you are on a tight budget or are looking for a new weaponized vehicle, I suggest you avoid this one at all costs, just because it's far too expensive. $6.5 million, too much. So now we are at the number 3 spot, and this is not really just about one vehicle, it's about a collection of vehicles, and it's the Arena War cards. These vehicles are some of the most expensive in the entire game, and they are definitely the worst. Each vehicle costs millions to upgrade and they aren't even very strong, with some of these highly modified and armoured vehicles only taking 1 RPG to blow up, which is dumb as hell. In fairness, they are definitely fun to use, but in terms of helping with money making or defending against griefers, they are very bad. So just stay far away from these, and just anything to do with the Arena War DLC. That DLC was a complete mess, and I'm glad Rockstar hasn't released anything similar to that, as that was just complete shitfest. Terrible DLC, probably the worst DLC in the game, and these vehicles just stay far away as they will drain your GTA balance very quickly. So now coming in at the number 2 spot is the Valkyrie Helicopter. This helicopter can be purchased from Warstock Cash and Carry for a price of $3,790,500, or you can get it for a trade price of $2,850,000, which you can unlock after completing the Humane Labs raid. But even with this trade price, this helicopter is super overpriced, as you don't really get your money's worth with this helicopter. The helicopter, in fairness, is quite fast and has decent handling, but that's where the positives end. The weapons on this helicopter are very pathetic, which can't even be operated by the pilot. So this helicopter can't even really be classed as a weaponized vehicle unless you have 2 or 3 players to operate the machine guns, which are, they're okay, they're nothing really special, but for most players this vehicle is not very useful and won't help with grinding activities, especially if you're a solo player. There seems to be a theme with this list. A lot of the vehicles you definitely shouldn't buy if you are a solo player. Before we unveil the final vehicle you should definitely avoid, please consider liking and subscribing so that this video can be pushed further into the algorithm, and also comment what videos you want to see in the future. But let's reveal the number 1 spot right now. So now at the number 1 spot we have the Halftrack. This vehicle is one which I really didn't want to put on this list as it's so unique and I just love the look of it and the design, but sadly sadly, this is not a video where looks really change anything. The Halftrack is a half truck, half tank, which is one of the slowest vehicles I have driven in GTA, just in the entire game. You can purchase the Halftrack from Warstock Cash and Carry for $2,254,350, or you can get it for a trade price of $1,695,000. The vehicle needs 2 people to get all of the use out of it, 1 person driving the vehicle of course, and then 1 person operating the gun on the back. Surprisingly, the gun on the back is very good, but the slow speed and the need for 2 people makes this vehicle not very useful. Plus, unfortunately, the person operating the gun is very exposed from the back, so the person at the back can easily be killed with a few lucky shots, and also the thing can be blown up quite easily. Not necessarily the vehicle, but if somebody's on the back, the shockwave from the explosive will kill them in 1 shot. Although the actual Halftrack itself can take something like 5 or 6 RPG shots, meaning that it is not completely useless, but once again, there are so many better vehicles such as the Chernobog, the Oppressors, that I would just buy before even considering any of these vehicles on the list. But what vehicles would have you put on this list? Leave that down in the comment section down below, but like always guys, take care everyone and have a great day.